What's going on, guys and gals? This is Auto Tech. So I would have to say that this weekend was a success. Definitely a lot of fun, a little bit more chill than I thought it was going to be. Just some hanging out at the cabins, drinking, beer pong, that sort of thing. Did the whitewater rafting, which to my surprise they got rid of like the lower canyon to it, which I mean means nothing to you guys, but like I've done that Kicking Horse River like 3 or 4 times. Now this was probably like the 5th time, and they always had this section that was like the lower canyon, and it was just like 45 minutes of like class 3s and 4s, and you know, like people were getting tossed out of the rafts and stuff like that, and it was, you know, a good time. So today I was just like, you know, like, oh yeah, how's the lower canyon, you know, right now? And then the guide was like, oh, you know, it's we don't do that anymore. And I was like, no. But none of the other guys had done that river, so the few 3s and 4 rapids that they got to do on the upper canyon, they were like, oh man, that's so sweet. And I was like sitting there thinking, like, little do they know that, you know, there was a whole other section that was just like nothing but that. So I mean, unfortunately I don't get the same amount of days off as those other guys, so I get to make my way back. They were gonna head into town to do some eating and shopping and stuff like that, a little bit of drinking at the bar, but I was kind of like looking at the clock, and I was like, you know, I didn't bring my tinted visor, and I don't really feel like getting home at like midnight, you know, and doing that whole like ride back from Vancouver there with the visor open, just tucked behind the windshield. The weather's been pretty decent today, you know, a little bit cloudy here and there, so I decided just to wear the overpants on the way home, because screw it, I absolutely hate having to put rain gear on the side of a road. And you know, so the nice thing about these is they're not like regular rain gear, right? Like I wear this jacket pretty well every single day, and you know, it breathes super well because it's Gore-Tex, and then the pants with the jeans underneath them, it can get a little hot, but luckily the sun's going to start to go down, so I was just like, screw it, I'm just going to wear it. Worst case scenario is I just got to switch my gloves, and then from there, you know, I'm pretty well set. Yeah. Hopefully we don't come across any sort of rain on our way home, but that's, you know, just my hopeful thinking. This road to the cabin, as inconvenient as it was to make your way into town for anything that you might have needed, yeah, it was actually pretty sweet for, you know, heading back. Because we went the one day and made our way to, what was it? Yeah, we went and got like fuel and some snacks and some alcohol and stuff like that. So then when we were coming back, it was actually like super good weather. So like we, you know, did nothing but the speed limits, which is exactly what I'm doing right now, you know, of course. And you know, it was quite a bit of fun. And then we all piled into the trucks for the whitewater rafting, so you know, that's always a good time too when you got 5 people in one truck and there's 2 of them, you know. One thing I've kind of noticed is I don't tend to get like a whole lot of grief for things, if that makes sense, because like, you know how the group atmosphere can go, like, you know, everybody starts like peer pressure and stuff like that, and I've just noticed like even with like different groups, like, you know, I really only knew like the 2 guys out of this group of 10, and like nobody like razzed me or anything about leaving a little bit early. And I've just noticed that with like different groups and stuff like that, like they'll all be going golfing, and then I'm just like, no, I'm going to you know, I don't like golf, so I'm just going to go ride around town. I'll meet up with you guys later. And then they're like, oh, okay, cool. You know, and it's like, right on. And then, like, tonight, they're like, oh, you coming into town to have some dinner? And I was like, no, I don't feel like riding in the dark. So I will see you guys at his wedding. And they're just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, have a good ride, stuff like that. So I don't know if it's just because nobody knows me or just because I'm giving a legitimate reason, maybe. I don't know. One thing I do need to kind of work on, which I tried a little bit this weekend, is I need to start being a little bit more social, I guess would be the term, because I'm just so like antisocial and I'm not a people person, and you know, like I really like to just kind of keep my business to myself, and so I tend to like separate from the groups, and like I was doing it, I did quite a bit there last night. Like I was always just on the like very outskirt of all the activities, you know. Nothing against people, like in general. Like there was nobody that I was just like, oh man, I can't stand that guy. It's just what I do, and you know, so I tried to work on that a little bit there last night, and yeah, you know, I like joined in for the beer pong and stuff like that, just to be, you know, not just be that guy sitting 3 feet away, because it was even like breakfast this morning, like I'm sitting on the deck smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee, and like there's the group of everybody else at the next table over, and I'm just like, you know, and it's like if I'm spoken to, I speak back, right? You know, like I'm not just like, yeah, don't talk to me. You know, somebody asks me a question, I answer it. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what my problem is, and it's kind of always been like that. So yeah, it kind of sucks a little bit. I do have to keep it a touch on the chill side for going home. Just because it is Canada Day long weekend, and that's, you know, when the RCMPs are usually out in full force, especially in these like more touristy areas, because, you know, they thrive on giving people tickets and stuff like that. But I'm sure, as always, we can slightly bend the rules in certain places on this ride through northern Mexico, you know. On a side note, people like these three drive me absolutely nuts. We had a little passing lane there, so the three of them do double the speed limit to ensure they pass me, and then we get into the turns, and now they're doing 30 under the speed limit. Jesus. Like, that drives me nuts, and that's when I want to start, like, passing people on shoulders and, like, just giving them the, what the hell when you do that. Because it's like, I don't know how it is, like, in the States for you guys, but anybody who has driven through the mountains here in Canada will absolutely go, like, oh, yeah, to this next statement. You come, you get these 2-lane stretches, and people really don't do the speed limit, or you get some sort of motorhome or something, like, up ahead there. And then a passing lane comes about, and suddenly everybody is goddamn Mario Andretti. And so for somebody like me who does like a very consistent 20 to 30% over the speed limit, I have to suddenly double, even like 2.25, you know, or 225% times the speed limit almost, to start passing these people. And then sometimes I just say, like, screw it, it's not worth getting nailed going double the speed limit just to pass these 4 people. But then suddenly you hit the end of the passing lane, and poof, the brake lights come on, and suddenly they're driving Miss Daisy with open coffees in the cup holders or something, you know? It's like, man, that drives me nuts when people do that. Alright, so before I end this video, I'll have a chance to show you guys. We just passed a passing lane coming up in 2 kilometers, And so everybody's doing a very like consistent 65 kilometers per hour. And I'm going to check in with you guys at that passing lane. All right, get ready for it. We can see the passing lane up there. They've sped up a little bit. People are in anticipation. This one in the Jeep's riding their brakes. Okay, we're doing 81, 84, 85. Get ready for it. As soon as it gets to the passing lane. Yeah, now we're doing 100. Still not catching them. 110, still not catching them. 120, still not catching them. Okay, 120 passed her, so that is double the speed that she was doing in the non-lane section there, or the non-passing section. And now I'm jammed up between these two, and they are sitting at a consistent 110. So that is 50 more than these two were doing when they passed me. Okay, oh man, look at the Mercedes go. He's rolling into her. Alright, the Tacoma tapped out at 150. We got the Mercedes. Let's see, we got 130. I'm creeping. Oh, I'm gonna run out of room because of this Toyota. Oh, 130 didn't quite make her happen. Oh, now he's gonna slow down like a douche. Yep. Alright, let's change lanes. And alright, let's go for round 2 here. Okay, 130. We're creeping by. Alright, cool. And now these guys are gonna climb up my rear saddlebag there the whole way up this hill. And then as soon as we get to the end of the passing section, I guarantee you they will back off. But luckily for me, this is called 10 Mile Hill, so it actually goes on for quite a while. You know what though, guys and gals, I'm not going to make this some 40-minute gold in the Calgary, Alberta video where I just update you like, oh, look at that shiny rock, and oh, look at that shiny rock. So I'm going to leave this one at just an update of the weekend, quick little demonstration of the passing lanes in the mountains and how frustrating they can be. And yeah, I think that's a pretty solid video there. Yeah, I'm happy with the quality. I mainly used it as an excuse just to show the road leaving from the cabin. So that's what most of the video is. The passing lane stuff was just a bonus. So, if you're new to this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for taking the time and watching.